Hello everyone today, sorry my voice is a little messed up, but we do have the all-new Audi e-Tron GT right here, and we have a huge special thanks to Audi of Hawthorne, New York over here for letting us come and check out their all-new Audi e-Tron GT. If you guys need a new Audi and you're in the Westchester area or you're in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, please go check out Audi of Hawthorne for their amazing inventory and a lot of other special cool stuff. But I think what's really cool today is that we have this e-Tron GT to go to check out, and I'm going to show you guys all the cool quirks, features, and all that stuff, of course. But we're also going to check out a lot of the other interesting things and performance statistics, as well as we'll talk about a little bit of stuff about the platform of this e-Tron GT. So let's dive in and get out all this information about Audi's first real true ground up electric vehicle. We do have the all-new Audi e-Tron GT here. Now, this is not the RS version. This is the Audi e-Tron GT, and it is in a beautiful iris white exterior with the performance package. So we do get larger wheels and a little bit more of some nice specification stuff on this one as well. Now, on first look, the styling, I think, in person is absolutely beautiful. You do really get used to that front end a lot quicker than you think you do, actually. I know it's all blacked out. There is eventually going to be an option, I believe, that's going to have the front grille area that will be covered in white, so you can kind of have a blended kind of design. But it kind of looks like a Stormtrooper kind of vehicle right now up front. Really nice with this white on black specification. I know Audi's been giving these a lot to dealerships right now, so it's been going pretty cool. Now, this one, of course, the e-Tron GT is based on the Audi Porsche J1 architecture. Now, of course, what we all know is based on the J1 architecture is the Porsche Taycan, and they're essentially almost the exact same car. They kind of have even the same roofline, even they're that similar. But of course, this is the Audi version of the J1 platform, and I think it looks really great. It definitely has more of a dynamic sculpted presence than the Porsche Taycan, and a little bit more aggressive, actually. I'm just looking at the rear. We can see the rear diffuser is way more chiseled and kind of contoured than it is over on the Taycan, significantly, actually. And even everything from the rear LED light bar is way more kind of chiseled. It's way more sculpted. Coming down to the side, of course, the wheels are a lot more kind of directional, and they're a bit bigger, of course, because Audi does like some massive wheels on their cars. Coming up to the front, and like this is one of the, I think, most controversial features. I think people either love it or hate it, is this kind of full black front end. I didn't like it in pictures, actually, but I'm starting to really like it in person. The overall stance and width of the car in person really does make it look a lot better. But this is a $109,000 specification Audi e-Tron GT, of course. And this one does have a few options, like I said before, as a performance package. We have that nice paint color going on there. But this can go a lot higher if you go for the e-Tron RS, or if you opt for a few other stuff. Now let's talk about what we have going on up front. So Audi does love to do their beautiful, these do have laser lights, matrix LED headlights. I'll kind of give you guys an idea what that looks like by turning on the car, well, unlocking the car right here. They do a little dance, of course, when you turn the car on. Super cool. And I like this kind of lightning bolt feature Audi's got going on the e-Tron GT. Of course, it's all electric, so I guess that's a nice little tidbit going on there. Also up front, we can see the giant Audi single frame grille shape is still there. Now, of course, as it is an EV, you don't necessarily need a grille, but as this is a high performance car, there is a lot of cooling going on there. So as you can see, this entire lower end is open for cooling, brake duct channeling. There's some air vents going around the side of the car, which is really nice. And everything is really functional, which is actually kind of unique on an Audi. You know, there's a lot of fake vents they've been doing a lot recently, but this is a nice welcome to see. Also up front, as we can come in closer, there's a lot of trucks going on right there. We can, of course, see our cameras and sensors, one for radar, cruise control, and all that stuff. We do have a camera right there as well, which is nice to see. And also, this is not like a completely flat front face. It is kind of like got this diamond textured pattern going on to it. Of course, the four rings of Audi up there. And yeah, I have to say it is a lot better, I think, in person than from what I've been originally seeing in pictures and stuff. Now, this car is really low to the ground, actually, as well. So I'm gonna go I'm gonna kneel down a little bit. You can kind of see how low to the ground it is. Really cool stuff going on there. It's super low, super sporty. I can't wait to start seeing these more on the roads as well. Now, like I said before, everything's super functional in this car too. So we have these side extractor vents coming out over here, so air is going to be able to be pulled out of the wheel arches, which is really nice. And of course, we have 2 ports for our charger. So I'm just going to unlock the vehicle right now. We'll check again. I'm pretty sure this is unlocked as well. Yeah, so here we can see we have our ports for our charging, and if you pull up this, you have your DC fast charging as well. Now, as this is the Porsche Audi J1 architecture, I'm just going to walk over to the other side to show you guys that it has an 800 volt battery pack. So what does that mean? Now, since it's an 800 volt battery pack, right here. Now, this one doesn't have the DC fast charging on it. It's just on the right side, which is interesting. This is to unlock the charger. Close it up. So what is an 800 volt battery pack? Now, of course, in this car, the battery pack is mounted on the floor, like in a lot of electric vehicles. And this one has a 93, I think 0.5 kilowatt hour battery pack. All e-Tron GTs have this battery pack, actually. So you get around, like, I think 240-ish miles of range is what the EPA quotes. But of course, that's a little bit conservative, so you might get a little bit better range on that, actually. Now, this means this one can make up to around like 526 horsepower. I'm going to put the number right there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe that's only in temporary situations when there's like an overboost style function, which is still pretty fast. So you do have a nice, decent amount of performance going on there. So nothing to be too kind of like ashamed with or scared at with the performance in this car. Now, of course, it is dual motor all-wheel drive, so we have motors up front, motors out back. Of course, that's going to give you a lot of nice handling, but as we know in this J1 platform, a lot of people have talked about it, hiding back under these wheels is a 2-speed gearbox in the back. Kind of helps you get off the line quicker, and you can kind of feel it shift into that second weird gear. Like I said before, the range is okay. I haven't really been able to test that because I feel like you need like a nice road trip or something to kind of get all that range going on out there. But yeah, that's how that's going. Enough for the rambling and whatnot stuff. Let's keep talking about this beautiful design of the e-Tron GT. So on the roof, what we got going on over here? So this one has, I believe, the glass panoramic roof option right here. This is not standard. I believe you get a carbon fiber roof as standard, actually. It's a carbon fiber reinforced plastic, of course. This one has a glass roof option. Definitely a good option if you want to kind of make the cabin a bit more airy and light. We'll take a look at that when we get on the interior later on in the video, of course. Coming around to the rear, like I was talking about before, really tasteful, really nice in person, actually. I think it looks a lot better than I originally was kind of looking at in pictures. I really like this body line. So kind of looking at the car from this angle a little bit, you can kind of see like this circular body line that kind of takes over from the hip fenders and comes scorping, it's like kind of swooping around to the rear, blending in with the light bar. It's a new line I have not seen yet, and I think it looks really good. As you can kind of see, the cabin kind of sits on top of it, right there where the trunk line kind of ends, and there's like those really wide hip fenders going on there. I think that looks super, super, super good in person. I genuinely do personally like this more than Taycan so far. Like we said out back, we do have the gigantic LED light bar that's we're going to kind of demonstrate by unlocking and locking the vehicle a whole bunch of times. Kind of does a little dance as well. Turn them on. Really cool stuff right there, just like that, simple and easy. Now Audi does like to do their little lighting elements, so of course these all piece chunks light up as well. Really cool stuff. Like I was talking about before, of course we have no exhaust tips, so Audi can't fake their exhaust tips like they tend to do. But we do have this nice tasteful diffuser going on here. It's not super aggressive and not too tame, but I think it looks pretty good for what it is. And it kind of adds that little bit of aggression going on to the vehicle as well. Again, these side haunches are super, super pronounced, super, super flared out too. And I think it looks really, really aggressive for the e-Tron GT. Coming around to the rear, we can open up the trunk, of course. Hopping that open. And you do have a decent amount of space, nothing too big. It's pretty small, not too big at the same time. It's like, I would say, medium average amount of space. You do have a little bit of a lip if you want to load stuff up. Of course, there's a little bit of a load lip. You do have some nice aluminum scuff plates on the side, which is nice. And here we have some extra mats and whatnot. A little bit of cubby storage on the sides. But of course, all the motors and everything are underneath here, so you can't really go too deep with the storage. We do have a nice little cubby pocket in here if you want to add some more stuff. I'll show you guys how deep that is real quick. My hand down there. It's pretty deep, actually. It's not bad. So if you want to shove some more stuff down there, you can. Close that up. And of course, we definitely do not have a spare tire on this car. There's nowhere to put that, so don't expect to see that on these types of vehicles. Let's close that up. We can pop the button right there. And we'll shut that piece right up. So I think it's time now to hop on inside, and I'll show you all the weird stuff going on there, because there's a lot of interesting things going on the interior. Okay, everyone, I think it's time to go hop on the interior of the Audi e-Tron GT and check all the cool stuff going on in there. So, of course, as this car is now optioned at $109,000, $106,000 around there, we can just keep the key in our pockets because, of course, it has comfort access. Really nice key. We have the e-Tron badge right here. Of course, the Audi badge on this side, and of course, unlock, lock, and our trunk release button right there. I'll put this in my pocket, and we'll hop right over to the car. Now we're going to start up front. Of course, when I unlock the door, I put my hand to the door panel right there, and it's going to unlock. We're going to open up the door. And of course, as this is on the J1 platform shared with the Porsche Taycan, it's kind of like a Grand Coupe high-end platform, right? So we have frameless windows right here. There's no frame going on the windows. So if I roll them all the way down, I have to turn the car in for that, actually. I'm silly. These will be completely frameless, and I do like that, as we do have this kind of continuation glass panel in between the front and rear doors. Super premium stuff going on there. Starting off with the door panels, as we usually always do. Again, this is an Audi product, so of course it's going to be built super, super well, and it does differentiate completely from the Taycan. So other than the platforms, these cars are basically insanely different in terms of design and interior materials and quality and technology and all that stuff. Because Audi likes to do things their way. So on this door, we kind of have that continuation of that really angular design theme going on in here. And this one does have the optional carbon fiber interior package, which is super, super nice on the doors. And there's a lot of stuff going on here, so nothing looks plain or boring, of course. Nothing in this car looks plain and boring. It's crazy. I do like these door handles as well. Of course, they're in metal, really nice feel to them. And of course, we have our typical Audi switch gear and all this stuff. Everything feels super solid, super nice, as you would expect on this vehicle. Coming down over here, we have a aluminum side sill plate in kind of like this anodized black aluminum, which is really, really nice. And it says e-Tron GT in it. And right here, if you can kind of see how thick this kind of side sill is, and kind of like right behind this is where the battery pack is. So that's kind of why this is there, kind of help extend out the vehicle. It does also make the car a little bit wider, actually. I think it looks really cool. Has a kind of more of that sports car feel going on there, which I think is really nice. Just a quick look at the interior before we hop in. Super nice stuff going on there. And of course, we have these beautiful seats. Now you can get full Napa leather. I believe standard is a vegan leather option. This one has a kind of like this dynamic alcantara fake suede material on the centerpiece. Of course, with this nice stitching. And I think the general design of the seats are super nice and really kind of like a bucket style seat, which is cool. So let's hop in. I'll stop rambling on and I'll show you guys some more stuff in the e-Tron GT. Awesome. So now we're in the e-Tron GT. As soon as you sit in, it kind of comes to life a little bit. I'm just going to adjust the seat, and as you guys kind of take a little bit of a tour of this vehicle. Now, what I really, really like is you can get super low in this car. You can kind of sit on the floor, which I like, especially in a sports car type vehicle. I think that's really how you should be able to drive this car. Now, on this interior, it is beautiful, and I really like what Audi did in here as they kind of got rid of their typical kind of dual screen layout that they've been doing on a lot of their newer high-end vehicles, and it's kind of replaced it with your 12.3-inch virtual cockpit up here, and your around 10-inch Audi MMI Touch display over here, of course, with the latest software and everything. Of course, it has haptic feedback and whatnot, so you're not going to really worry about missing things. And I think this is a much better implementation than their dual screen layout, as you do have physical buttons for your climate controls. And of course, they feel super nice, as this is an Audi product. Nothing feels super cheap at all. Of course, you have lower vents right here with a nice aluminum kind of trim piece going on there. And coming down to your lower center console, one big complaint is the giant panel of gloss black plastic, unfortunately. But if you want, you can kind of wrap that in something. But up on the dash, we do have that replaced with beautiful carbon fiber going across the entire dashboard. And it really does feel like a high-end experience in this vehicle. It's nothing too kind of boring or anything at all. Nothing, like I said before, nothing about this car is boring at all. It's super high-end and kind of a special experience in here as well. Coming down, like I said before, on the center console, we have our drive select modes, traction control buttons, blank buttons, unfortunately, and of course we do have hazard switches and parking sensors and whatnot. I think this turns off the screen, so you don't want to, this turns off the screen. So if you want to really focus on driving, turn off the display and just tap it to turn it back on, which is cool. A little bit more gloss black plastic going across the dashboard. And as of course, Audi does have this kind of like this quattro kind of design that they used to do with the badge, and now it's kind of implemented into the dashboard where it's the screen and it blends slimmer and trimmer into the dash over as you go down, which is really nice. I do like how this carbon fiber again cascades all the way throughout into the door panels as well. It's super nice looking there. E-Tron badge, of course, and this design right here is kind of pattern design is mimicked in the grille as well. It's kind of like that single frame hexagonal pattern that Audi does, which is really cool. Also in the center console, we do have the, I guess, direction selector. There's not really a gear selector going on here. So we have, of course, reverse, neutral, and drive. Of course, we're in park right now. A little bit weird, kind of for a selector, kind of like a pushing up and down style. We do have a park hold feature as well. I don't know how much I feel about this. It's better than the little stub that Porsche's doing, but interesting stuff going on there. This, I unfortunately don't like. Volkswagen, Audi, they're all doing this right now. It's like kind of like these touch button style system. Not my favorite thing. I wish there was kind of like individual buttons for it, but it is a cost-saving feature, unfortunately. But you guys will get used to it over time. It's kind of like this weird little panel there. And that kind of panel is also continued on over to right here for your lights. It's kind of like this touch panel style thing. You can push onto it a little bit, but I don't know how much I enjoy that too much. I'd rather have like a individual single button for it, but minor little complaints, because generally this interior is beautiful. And just look at this cockpit right here. Now, like I said before, we have Audi's virtual cockpit up here, 12.3-inch display, as we've seen on a lot of other Audi products. And this steering wheel is just awesome. I love it so much. Of course, it is wrapped in alcantara as this nice kind of flat bottom design. You do have paddle shifters in the back, and finally they feel nice and premium for an Audi product. Now, they're not going to shift anything. It's kind of to control your regenerative braking, but they do look really nice. I wish they put this on more of the other vehicles, especially in this higher performance category. Of course, the traditional kind of Audi single frame grille design is carried out into the interior as well. Nice stitching going across. And such a nice chunky steering wheel. Super nice. I really do like this a lot. And of course, you can't anything go wrong with Audi's virtual cockpit. It's probably still one of the best in the industry. I do like how it is really focused. Really focused to the driver in this car. It's kind of a driver-centric, kind of real true cockpit in this one. And you kind of get that feeling with this kind of open, airy design. They have this separated piece up here, kind of like blends into the back as well. I think it's a really cool mix of shapes and stuff going on there. And I think it works really well, which is really important. Of course, it's hot today, so I might turn the car on and pop the AC if you guys hear sound in a second. But talking about these seats real quick, again, sorry for my voice. They're really supportive. There's some nice bolstering going on the sides over here, as you can see. Again, it's kind of like a bucket style layout, so you're kind of sitting in the seats, you're kind of sitting in the car, which I really like. And if you guys can see right now, I kind of have the seats lowest to the ground right now on my setting. And I just feel like I'm in a sports car, and that's what I want to feel in this car. And you can really have a lot of adjustment going on there. Of course, the full power seats, as you would expect in this type of vehicle. And I'm really impressed with this kind of seating position and whatnot. Visibility isn't the best, I would say. You do have some pretty chunky A-pillars right here. You do have your mirrors, of course. And these sills, when you do sit low, as I'm sitting right now, these sills are kind of high. This is kind of at eye level. If you're looking across the vehicle like that, not too bad up front. The hood is actually pretty long, which is different for an Audi. Usually they have a little bit of a shorter hood style, but the hood's long. So if you are sitting this low, you might not get the best kind of view of the front end of where you kind of like put the vehicle. There are cameras for that, but you don't want to scratch anything up front. And out back, the visibility is a little bit hampered by that B-pillar and this kind of sloping roof line going out there. So all that safety systems and whatnot, like blind spot, is really going to come into handy on this vehicle. And you do kind of have a big blind spot right here as the mirror kind of takes up a lot of space. So if you are looking in terms of visibility, that might be a little bit of a downside, but otherwise I wouldn't complain too much in this vehicle because it is awesome regardless. Of course, everything's power. The steering wheel, of course, is power as well and whatnot. You want to adjust that tilting telescoping and whatnot stuff. I do like the kind of frameless style mirror everyone's doing in the industry right now. It does really clean up everything, kind of gives you a little bit more visibility. Super thin sun visors right here that kind of blend into the roof. And the reason for that is kind of this gigantic panoramic sunroof that, well, it's kind of just the entire roof. It's glass. This really opens up the cabin. As you kind of can see the sky right there. a little bit of a cloudy day today. This really opens up the cabin, I think, compared to a completely black roof. And you do actually get a little bit more headroom with that too, which I think is really important for this type of vehicle, as it is really small actually and kind of compact in this interior. Just quickly finishing up on the center console, we have 2 cup holders right here, which is fine as you're not going to be shifting anything, so you're not going to really have to bump into anything here. The center console, we do have a little bit of a storage cubby, I think, right here. Open it up. Really tiny, actually, nothing too big. Close that. And of course, we do have our glove box on the side over here. Again, kind of small, actually, really just for like a manual and whatnot. Awesome stuff. So I think it's time we'll go hop into the back seats. I'll show you guys kind of the legroom there. I'm going to get into a quick little position that makes a little bit more sense to kind of show you guys real legroom of how it actually be driving. And let's go hop right into the back seats. Okay, guys, we're going to open the door now. Of course, the window's going to pop down as is frameless. Let's hop right out. Now getting into the back seats, I'm going to sit on the driver's side right now. Again, same treatment with the frameless doors going on. The doors actually don't open too wide, which is, I guess, could be a little bit annoying if you got to hop in. Now, the rear space is a little bit tight and cramped, as we're going to see in a second. Again, nice same stuff going on the door panels. Nothing really too different there. So let's hop right in. Oh boy. Okay, so I am 6'1". Now, this vehicle, like I said before, has the battery pack mounted in the floor. So luckily, Porsche and Audi, or mainly Porsche, has kind of designed this battery pack. I'll move my bag for a second, with these kind of scoops in here for your feet, so you can actually sit back here. As you can see, the actual floor is a lot higher. The battery pack is right underneath here. These scoops in the floor are actually cutouts in the battery pack, so you can actually sit in the back of the vehicle, which is nice. So as you can see on my side, this is my actual driving position right here. Legroom is not the best at all. You kind of have, like, Porsche calls them like foot garages. On Audi, I'm calling them like foot garages or whatnot. You do have some air vents going on back there. It is a little bit limited. You actually can fit okay, but it is a little bit tight and cramped back here. You do have cutouts, of course, in the seats for your knees and whatnot. And of course, this entire back of the seats in this nice, like, soft touch padded material, which is really nice as well. Again, the door panels, pretty much the same stuff. The sill is pretty high. This is actually at eye level. The window's kind of small as well as too. So it's a little dark and cramped back here, but thankfully that beautiful roof is kind of saving you a little bit with headroom, of course, as this does have a sloping roof line. Let me just do a quick headroom check. I have like this amount of headroom. It's really small, but it is a lot better thanks to this roof. You do have kind of like this big bar back here for the chassis and whatnot, and the kind of tiny rear window. So it isn't the biggest space back here, but you can put 2 people. I would not put 3 people back here personally, as there is a hump in the floor as well, so that could kind of impede on that kind of space. So it'd be cramped for 3 people. 2 people is okay. Not the best. We do have air vents back here, which is nice, so you won't suffocate. But it is a sports car, so you do have kind of like these bolstered seats going on back here. As you can kind of see, they're kind of molded into the back. Really like this. I do feel really supportive, just even sitting back here as a passenger. There even is like side bolstering too, which is really nice. I really like that. And it's kind of like a micro fixed suede material. It's super grippy and nice stuff going on there. Of course, in the center console, we do have this piece that should fold down. If it doesn't want to right now. But yeah, we have a piece that folds down. I don't know why it's not. Oh, here we go. Here is a release latch. 2 cup holders right here. It doesn't look like there's a ski pass through at all, unfortunately, but it does look like the seats do fold down if you do want some more extra storage from the trunk. Other than that, there's not too much going on back here. Pretty much basic stuff. Again, the door handle is really nice in this metal trim. I do wish there was ambient lighting. It doesn't look like there's ambient lighting in this interior, which I'm a little bit disappointed with. And this is kind of like a grabbing handle right here. Again, really solid, but there's the only door storage is down here, and it's pretty small. I don't even think my phone would fit flat in there. It's kind of like it would have to fit sideways. But I don't know if I personally would want to spend too much time in this rear seats for a long period of time. It's kind of cramped. I would want to much rather be up in the driver's seat, and you guys got a better view of that beautiful front dash and whatnot, especially with that beautiful carbon fiber going on over there. So let's say I think we should go take this for a little bit of a drive, because I want to experience the J1 platform myself, and especially the e-Tron GT, because I think this car is beautiful. So let's go do that right now. And let's pop it into drive. So to do that, you have this weird little selector over here. Nice trimmed in aluminum, but there is a sea of gloss black on the center console. So as you can see, there's fingerprints all over the place. And to pop it into drive, you just literally slide it back into drive like that. So it's a little bit of a strange motion. Out back, of course, if you want, you can turn on the rear spoiler, but that will come up at speed as well. But yeah, J1 platform. This is my first drive in the J1 architecture car. So let's just go around this parking lot real quick and check it out. Now, of course, in the e-Tron GT, let's see the speed. Oh my gosh. Really quick acceleration. This isn't even in the RS version. It can have up to 526 horsepower. Of course, in the e-Tron GT, check out the turn signal sound. Really nice stuff over there. Make sure there's no one around. Now we are on like the most aggressive setting, but as it is an Audi product, the steering's very light actually. Nothing too crazy going on there with the steering. And the car is really low, really sporty, and really aggressive and low to the ground, which is nice. I do love this steering wheel. It has this nice flat bottom design, the nice alcantara kind of feel going around it, which is really cool. I do like that a lot. And the general layout of the interior is super nice. I think it's really sporty, of course, but also really nice and driver centric. So you can kind of nice access to displays. Everything's angled towards the driver, which I think is super cool. Again, steering's really light around the parking lot, which is cool. I do think there's a rear wheel steering on offer for these. Of course, it has air suspension as well, so you can lower and raise the car. Now, these paddle shifters, of course, are for regenerative braking, I'm pretty sure, so you can increase the regen braking with the paddles, because there is no gearbox, of course, so you're not going to be doing gear changes with these paddle shifters. So that's definitely not what they're there for. But this is definitely a higher performing car. I just drove a Model 3. Of course, this isn't complete with a Model 3, but way more of a higher performing vehicle than a Model 3 or any kind of like Tesla. This is a performance oriented platform, and that's what it's meant for. That's what Audi and Porsche really designed it for it to be. Just throwing it around this parking lot real quick. Now, it doesn't have the best range, of course. That gets around 240-ish miles. This one has like, I think 123 on it right now. But those are conservative EPA numbers. I think you might be able to get like 280, maybe 290 out of it if you really push hard. So you are able to get a decent amount of range, which is fine. And of course, it has super fast charging with that DC fast charging, which is super nice. But yeah, this is definitely a connected car. The steering, you do have a little bit of feedback going on in there, a little bit, just a little bit of feedback, of course. If you open up the windows, of course, there's no real sound. You do have a little bit of an electric motor whir going on there. Kind of hear that whir going around at low speeds. But again, nothing too crazy, of course, as it is just an electric vehicle and not a gas vehicle at all. So you're not gonna really hear any gas engine sounds. Of course, we have automatic up and down windows on the sides, so you're not gonna really have any problems with that. And this carbon fiber interior is just absolutely beautiful, bathing me in here, which I think is really nice. You can kind of hear, if I be really quiet, if you can hear the whir of the EV motors in there, which is awesome. Really cool stuff. I'm being super quiet so you can kind of hear it and raise that up. I do want to show you guys real quick the rear spoiler, and to put that up, if you want to, you can go into your infotainment system, swipe it, and you can pop this button to turn on up and down the spoiler. And of course, it will go up and go down at speed and whatnot as well. There are a few other vehicle settings you can kind of change in the infotainment system. There's your Audi drive select modes, where I showed you here, and here you can kind of look at the air suspension features. You can raise and lower the air suspension. I think it's a 3-chamber air suspension system. And like I said before, I think this one might have the rear wheel steering. Let's check the Monroney real quick. I'm gonna see if we do have that option. Do we have rear wheel steering? I might cut out to see if we can find it. Yes, we do. We do have rear wheel steering in this one. So of course that will kind of tilt the rear wheels at different speeds, of course. So that's really cool as well. Let me go show you this rear spoiler real quick because it looks super cool. Is it up? It is up right now. Here's the rear spoiler right here. I think it makes the car look super nice. Of course, it's going to go up and down at speed, so it'll kind of get a little bit of downforce or whatnot, and it will help reduce drag when it is flat on the ground as well. So that's really nice. Up and back on the interior. This car is super nice, super comfortable, and really aggressive as well. And like I said, this one can have up to around 526 horsepower at certain times. I think around normally makes around 460 or something like that. But there is like an overboost kind of function on the EV motors as well. So you kind of get like a little bit of a performance boost going up there. If you kind of, I'll be quiet, you kind of hear the whir of the EV motor. That's so cool. I love that sound. Like I said, really, really good steering. Not a lot of feel, but it is good steering. And if you kind of see the performance right here, I don't think this one has a launch control, to be exact. Yeah, it doesn't have a launch control, but if you do launch, you kind of feel that gearbox prepping up to kind of get you off the line real quick. Oh, Jesus. Okay, we're in a parking lot, so we're not going to go super fast, but that was just up to 40 miles an hour, and it's really pretty crazy. But we're going to end this, of course, video here. I think someone's coming out to go check out this car right now. So I just want to give you guys a quick little impression of how everything works and whatnot. And they're going to pop it back in there to give it some other cool people a look, some potential buyers as well. Thank you guys for joining me on this video, the special experience checking out the Audi e-Tron GT. I had a great fun time checking out this car today. And I hope we can get to check out some more stuff from Audi of Hawthorne as well. They have an amazing dealership, as you can see right here. And if you guys, like I said earlier, or this is a different video, you can go check them out. And you're from the tri-state New York, Connecticut, New Jersey region. And just to pop it back into park, you press the park button. A little bit weird, kind of easy to get used to stuff at the same time. But yeah, this one has 22 miles on it right now. Oh boy, it's a little bit low, but yeah. Just a quick experience of the Audi e-Tron GT. And to power off this beast, you just tap this start stop button right here. Nice red lined accent stuff going on there. It's kind of like at the heart of the vehicle a little bit, as it doesn't really have an engine, so you gotta have a little bit of interaction going on there. But again, thank you guys for this quick tour and a little checking out of the e-Tron GT. And like I said before, stay tuned for a lot more stuff coming soon from Allcarnews.